This is George Lopez with the Empowered Lifestyle Podcast. Alongside me is my amazing wife, Shemaine. How you doing, baby?
I'm doing well, baby.
Awesome, awesome. This morning we're going to be talking with Marilyn, who is our health coach. And so everyone just tighten your seatbelts. She is on to something and you have a lot to learn. Baby, I will allow you to introduce Marilyn to this podcast.
Yes. Well, first we want to make sure our phones are turned off. Make sure your phone is on silent because we are taping. Amen. And I just want to say good morning to Miss Marilyn King-George, certified health coach. I'm so grateful and thankful that you're here with us today. I'm looking forward to this conversation. As everyone know, we here on the Empower Lifestyle podcast, we have conversations with people that are leaders within their communities, thought leaders, folks who are making a difference and an impact. And today we have the awesome privilege of speaking with Miss Marilyn King-George, who is a certified health coach.
That's right.
If you are interested in being one of our podcast guests, please reach us at empoweredlifestyle.tv. You can go right there and book a session with us. You can also give us a call at 757-512-8951. Again, the number is 757-512-8951. We are here to make sure that we're expanding information and content to our community that inspires, encourage, educate, and empowers. Amen. So we're here to be that bridge to make sure that the information is getting out there. Amen.
That's
and
right.
amen.
That's
and
right.
amen.
That's right. That's right.
Yes. So Miss Marilyn King-George, can you hear us?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So let tell the audience a little bit about yourself. We want to know. We're not scripted, so we want you to introduce yourself.
Okay, Marilyn King-George, and I am from the island of Jamaica. I have been here in the New York area since the pretty much late 70s. I came to do my college studies, attended NYU, majored in biology, and one of the areas I got really focused on was the microbiology, the clinical lab area. And I'm currently still working in the lab as a microbiologist. And subsequently, I also became, and this is from back in Jamaica, quite interested in the herbs and the leaves and the concoctions my grandmother would come up with. That anytime anybody had a cold, if she heard a little sniffle, there was something on the pot, So, and you heard names: King of the Forest, Leaf of Life, different names, aloe, and so this interest in, if you want to say, the natural health was always there. When I came to the States, I started working in the lab around pretty much in the 80s, when it was the HIV/AIDS epidemic. There was the TB. I was working in the TB area, and there were many, if you want to say, programs, going on as to how to treat the patients. And at the same time, I also was able to pretty much listen to, there was a radio station, WBAI in New York, 99.5. And, having listened to this for, quite a few years, a co-worker had his girlfriend had, I think it was like muscular dystrophy. And he was listening to Dr. Atkins, Gary Null, and trying to work with her, naturally, not using too many too many drugs. So that sparked a little interest. And, and then there were occasions where there was a hint at different ways of treating the HIV population, completely different from the medical way of doing things. And I remember there was a session with Tony Brown. It was on Channel 13. This was in the 80s. And he, this is Dr. Gary Null, came in with a patient, came in with medical records and everything else. And he showed how he was able to really bring that patient, if you want to say, back to life. Had the records, he had stuff to show. He used, nutrients, he IV infusions. I mean, he did so many different things, that was not in sync with the routine medical drugs. However, subsequently, I didn't hear anything. There was no major publicity. There was no, oh, okay, here's a possibility, here's a way, And, more and more you heard cases of other doctors who were, I think there was Dr. Brzezinski. He was doing a special therapy. There was Dr. Gonzalez. He was treating pancreatic cancer. And, I became aware of there were other ways of treating many of these diseases, other than just straight chemotherapy, just drugs, every pill. So, that started my, if you want to say, my focused natural health journey. And then as a result, I, I got exposed to different therapies. For a while, I studied a little iridology. This is where you can look in your eyes and predict. You're not diagnosing, but there's a way of predicting any, this dysfunction.
You're breaking up a little bit.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, is that clearer? Okay.
That's better.
That's better? Okay. So, yes, so a while I did iridology. Then there was a academy in Manhattan where I think this was Dr. Lewis Harrison. He showed different methodologies, reflexology. There was a Feldenkrais movement, just different ways of treating the body.
Yes.
And
well, thank you so much for saying that. And I think that's one of the reasons why we're having the health and wellness conference, because this conference is more than it's not about telling people not to go to your doctor. It's not about telling people don't take your medication. It is about showing us all that we have a responsibility. Our doctors depend on us to have to integrate our health, our daily living, our daily health regimen with
the recording has stopped.
Yeah.
This meeting is
not sure what happened there. They yes. So yes, they are. We lost for a second, but they're depending on us to integrate our daily life, our health regimen, what we eat, how we sleep, getting massage, at least monthly massage therapy, walking, drinking water. All of these things are expected, but most people don't know what they don't know. Right. And that's why we're doing the Health and Wellness Conference. The integrated medicine is, I think, the wave of the future. And it actually has always been here, but now we have terminology for it. And now we're, especially after the pandemic, people are taking their health into their own hands. They're actually wanting to know, oh, what type of tea can I drink? How much water do I need to drink? How much water walking do I need to do? How much, all of these things, and because people didn't know before. And so I think that this is going to actually help the medical community. And so, of course, we're not, just full disclosure, we're not here to treat anyone or to provide any treatment.
Thank you. Yes.
Anyone, but just to talk about the benefits of living and incorporating nutrition into your daily life.
Right, that's a good insight. And I wanted to ask Marilyn, you've been on pretty much both sides of the spectrum as far as the medical side and the holistic side. What are some of the things that you were doing to integrate both the medical and the holistic side? Because there seemed to be a pretty big pushback from the medical side accepting holistics into the healing of the body. So what are you doing to help integrate?
Okay, so just thanks, Queen Charmaine, for that disclaimer, just to reinforce that we're not diagnosing, we're not treating any major symptoms, any disease. See your private physician. So based on what we are learning in, for example, with looking at other ways of eating, of lifestyle changes. Yes, there are times, for example, you have to see the physician. I remember there was a point, for example, where I had to have an emergency surgery. I was right at the hospital. I wasn't feeling well. And this actually was after using my, you're feeling a little nauseous. You get some ginger tea, mint tea, whatever. Well, it came a point where these teas didn't do too much, and I had to have, it was like it was a hernia operation at the time. So there's a period now where I had to take antibiotics. There was an infection that had to be done. At least I have thick hair. I actually could feel the hair fall, coming out. So there are things you had to do to, get back to your normal self. There was an imbalance. Things had to be done, and I needed the treatment of the doctors. That it was necessary. However, based on what I knew from, too much antibiotics, it means it's gonna upset your microbiome. Now you had to replace all these natural organisms, beneficial organisms that the antibiotics just pretty much wiped out. Then now part of the healing therapy was having soups, having, nutrient dense items. There was a lot of liquid supplementation, more teas, more. So I gradually, looking at blood tests, there was a time when liver enzymes were up. Everything is up, you see, so gradually there had to be a time to recoup, to replenish, and really, get back to if you want to say, a balanced state. So you do need to do your checkups. You have to know, for example, you have to know what's happening with you. Know your numbers. You have to know the state you are in, so that once you're aware, then you can say, okay, is it inflammation? What else can I do? There are enough, just like how there are medical textbooks, there are holistic books. They might not be pushed. Now you're hearing more in the news, and I think more doctors are actually, coming out. Dr. Oz had his show, the doctors on the there are more doctors there, but the medical system is still, the major source of healthcare in at this time. But now that you're aware, then you can seek other options, so.
Yes, yes. So how can people integrate in their daily lifestyle um, nutritional items like fruits and vegetables?
So,
What should people be making sure that they're
well, you want.
their body on a daily basis, or at least weekly? Can you talk to us about
So
that?
you get so basic, you get back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, in our healthcare status, wherever we are, there are much of our foods and fruits that have been sprayed with pesticides. They're toxic. It's not the same as, if you want to say, 50 years ago. I think since the Second World War in the late 50s, I mean, there has been a lot of introduction of additional sugars, high fructose corn syrup, a lot of ultra processed foods that, we keep hearing about, a lot of packages and foods in the supermarket that have a long shelf life. I mean, everything has been focused on lengthening the life of natural fruits. They're processed, they're dried. So what now we have to think of staying as close to nature. Think of the natural state of what you're having. You have the fruit, but now you have to think, okay, we have a group we call EWG, Environmental Working Group, and that you can pick up online. And what they have done is pretty much researched and categorized fruits that need to be washed carefully. They call those like the dirty dozen. And then you have the organic foods, which should not be sprayed, doesn't have any pesticides, as opposed to the dirty dozen that they have sprayed with a lot of, toxic stuff. So now you have to choose, now you have a choice. I know in some cases, for some people, depends on where you are, depends on your status, depends on funds and money. Not everyone can buy organic. So if you have to buy at least get the fruit,
Right.
and at least get the orange instead of the orange juice. The juice now is like a concentrated liquid sugar. And that has been causing a lot of problems in our community. So it becomes a way of gradually, checking your pantry and start to look to see, okay, which items do I have that's so processed? It's a lot of sugar, a lot of additives. Now you have to read your labels carefully. Look for strange names. So you have to start with being aware of what's out there in the grocery store. Then once you're aware now, then it helps with your choice. And now you have to take your time to prepare. And another thing is you have to go back to cooking at home.
That is true.
You cannot go to Burger King, McDonald's, order I think now we have DoorDash, we have Uber, everything can be just ordered easily. But now if you're thinking of your health and the side effects, everything, it's cumulative.
Yeah.
A young person will think, oh, everything is fine and whatever, but it's cumulative with all the toxins, pesticides, the water. There's a lot going on right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Marilyn, I hear you. And a lot of the foods that we have are, high sugar foods. And it's unfortunate that, we get medicated by these doctors that give us medication and a lot of the medication that we get from them have synthetics in them. Now, some of the foods that we eat need to have anti-inflammation or anti-inflammatory foods, which goes along with the medication that we're getting from our doctors. So what would be some of those foods that you can give us or tell us that can holistically fight against some of the inflation that we have in our bodies? Yes, fight against the inflammation that we have in our bodies.
Okay, so
Not to include inflation, but inflammation.
okay, just to remind you, not diagnosing, not treating, but just some suggestions and something also you might have to check with like maybe sometimes a pharmacist, sometimes any contraindications, because you know a lot of these pharmacy drugs actually came from plants.
Indeed.
You know,
Indeed.
so now you know I could recommend something. It's like even garlic. We hear a lot about using garlic in your spices and whatever, but then it's a blood thinner. So if you are taking a blood thinner drug, then you have this is somewhere where you have to make sure you're up to date with your testing, but also you have to check with your doctor, to see, okay, is there are say pharmacists, then they might know better what's contraindicated. And as a matter of fact, we have somebody in our group that's a pharmacist and a herbalist.
Yes.
So,
Dr.
you
Clark.
know, you will hear now, for example, berberine is something they're also using, which has similar characteristics as metformin. So, it will work for some, work for others. Now, the other thing that's I usually have the acronym from Dr. Furman or G bombs. And G bombs. G, it's like helps you to remember your greens. Greens, that's your leafy greens, your kale, and that includes including that also, because I think he coined this really for cancer. But it's like a base, it's like a functional helper for you to determine what's on your plate each day. So if you have those greens, and that include cabbage, collard greens, cruciferous, that's your cruciferous vegetables, that's your broccoli. And these are useful also for your nitric oxide. Nitric oxide helps with the blood flow, and so that's something that's beneficial. Now, as we are talking about greens, you have to think of when you are eating, it starts in your mouth. You have to chew carefully, and in chewing, it's recommended, for example, it's better to have your greens raw. Chew carefully for the enzymes to work to help to release that nitric oxide.
Right.
However, not everybody can have it raw. So the next level is, lightly steam, lightly saute, so that it's easier to digest. And there's something to remember. Everybody's different.
Right.
We're all unique. So it's not one size fits all.
Right.
So this is something also, we're talking in generalities, but you have to know, for example, if you have an allergy to something, if you eat one of these cabbage, you might eat cabbage and you don't feel good after eating it. So these are things you have to be aware of your own constitution and how it works. So the greens, that's your leafy vegetables.
Now,
Okay.
along the lines of vegetables,
Mm-hmm.
some people are of the mindset that if they take supplements, that is going to substitute for vegetables. What would you say to those people who think that They got to take the supplements.
No,
They
no,
gotta-
it's not a substitute. Remember, you want to stay as natural and as unprocessed.
Yeah.
Every level that you from the moment that you pick the fruit or the leaf or the vegetable,
Mhm.
that fresh state has all the enzymes. Especially right now, I don't you probably hear a lot about sprouts,
Right.
Yes.
broccoli
Broccoli
sprouts,
sprouts,
bean sprouts.
alfalfa
Right,
sprouts, and
right.
mhm.
And those sprouts actually are nutrient dense. They have a lot more enzymes, nutrients, micronutrients, your minerals, everything that you need for your functioning.
Okay.
As you go to the next level, you have your natural greens. Then as you steam and heat, you start to lose some of the enzymes.
Mm.
Now, when you come to the supplement stage, yes, you might need to, if someone has maybe a GI problem, someone has what they call leaky gut, they're not absorbing the nutrients.
Mhm.
What is
Um,
GI?
you
What is
know,
GI? For the people who don't know what GI is, what is?
gastrointestinal.
Okay.
So that's pretty much you having a stomach or intestinal problems.
Mhm.
So that now would interfere with maybe your absorption of some of these nutrients.
Mhm.
This is why some people you might not be able to have something raw.
Mhm.
Um, it's recommended in some cases to have chop some of the vegetables and have a mixture raw and steam. So you have the enzymes from the raw leafy vegetables,
Mhm.
and that combines with the more digestible forms. Because plants, why do we have plants? Because one of the main things is your fiber. You need to have that fiber that's not just helping you to have a smooth elimination, but now with research and everything else, you need those fibers to feed your beneficial organisms, or you hear a lot about the microbiome.
Mhm.
So there, each fruit, each and color.
Mhm.
If you notice, even the green, some greens have like a little purple and green, orange and green. Each color, each thing has basic, if you want to call phytochemicals.
Mhm.
And now, as I said, this is lifelong learning.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of research,
Mhm.
and they're finding out now that there are certain organisms that are linked with certain vegetables, certain fruits. So this is why you need to have a diverse, think variety, you know. So this way you get to pretty much feed different microbes that have the different functions.
Right. That
Okay.
is.
So yes, supplementation, you know, not don't use that as a your main thing.
Right.
Try as much as possible to visit your farmer's market, look for your organic stuff, and take the time to prepare and you know fix something at home.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, as they say, when you prepare the food at home, that you prepare it the way you want. It's a lot tastier, it's a lot
Right.
healthier. Because when you go out there to eat, you never know what you're eating.
Mhm.
Okay.
But let's talk about the health and wellness conference that's going to be held in
Mm.
Virginia Beach next weekend at the Wyndham Hotel,
Yes,
57th
yes, yes,
Avenue. You are going to be there, correct?
yes, yes. I'm so excited.
Let me have my wife speak about that. Maybe you go ahead. You talk about that. You do a much better job talking
Okay,
about that than I
so
do.
the Health and Wellness
Mhm,
Conference will be
mhm,
taking place at the Wyndham Hotel
mhm,
in Virginia Beach,
mhm.
October 25th, 26th, and 27th.
That's right.
It's going to be a fully packed
Weekend.
weekend full of education and information. Folks will be able to have sessions so that they, we have, it's a holistic and integrated medicine weekend. So if you want to have a session with energy medicine, you'll be able to do that. If you want to meet with Miss Marilyn King-George, who's a certified health coach, she'll be available for sessions and massage therapy. I mean, we have it all. Grounding, movement, all of it is going to be reproductive health, ancestral health. All of it is going to be happening this weekend. Not this weekend, but next weekend at the Wyndham. So if you want to get your tickets, please go to Eventbrite and type in Empower Health and Wellness Conference in Virginia Beach, and you'll find the tickets right there. You can also go to empoweredlifestyle.tv and to purchase your tickets there as well. This is time for us, I believe, for us to take our health and wellness into our hands, because we talked about this yesterday. Our children are watching, our children's children are watching. Our children are parents right now, and they need to know things, how to raise their, to introduce to their children from babies. And so it's just very, very important that the information is received, and then it's also passed down. We talked yesterday about intergenerational distribution of information and how we need to be deliberate about that. That's something that we're going to be talking about as well. So we encourage you to come on down. If you want to give us a call, you can also give us a call at 757-512-8951. Again, the number is 757-512-8951, and you can give us a call there. We can give you information. But this is going to be an awesome weekend. And the prices are very, very reasonable. If you want to stay at the hotel, if you travel from outside, there's also some packages there for the hotel and the conference. Very, very reasonable. And then of course, on Saturday night, we have a dance. We're going to do dinner and dance, because dance is movement and we want to have fun.
Dancing shoes. Dancing shoes, baby.
Yes. We have Frankie Davis, who's going to be one of the musical artists that's going to be with us on Saturday night. And so we want you guys to come out and really take your health into your hand, because health is wealth. You can have all the money in the world. If you don't have your health, if you don't know what you need to bring into your home so that your health is what as wealth, so that your health is at the forefront of your thoughts. If you don't know that, and I'm learning, I'm so learning. This is why we're doing this conference, because we're all learning as we go along this path. And so we want to really encourage you to come out. The Empowered Lifestyle Network is a streaming network. On our network, we have a channel that is called Health and Wellness, and we're doing these conferences quarterly. This conference is here in October, and we're focusing on health and wellness. The next conference is going to be in January at Jekyll Island in Georgia, and that's going to be focused on wealth and health, because every component, every conference that we do, we're going to have the health component, because health is wealth. Absolutely. So you can talk about finance all you want to, if you don't,
if you're not healthy, you're not going to enjoy your money.
Exactly.
You're not going to enjoy it.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about this each and every time. We're on a mission to make sure that we are healthy, and we want to also be on that, and that mission also includes you.
To create a healthy community.
Health, yes.
Yeah,
to create a healthy community.
And I urge, brothers to come on out. Come on out. This is not just for the women. This is for everybody. Everybody. Some of us think that the only time we need to seek medical attention is when we're ill. But this also applies to when you're healthy, or when you think you're healthy. So come on out. Learn ways how to deal holistically with your prostate. Deal with other parts of your bodies to help you help other people, so that you can be a healthy person. Because if you're not healthy, your friends, your family won't be healthy as well. It starts with you. And you spread that health throughout your family, throughout your sphere of influence, throughout your community, Oh my goodness, what a good world we have with a lot of healthy people. Because your health is your wealth.
Yes. And I love that you said that, because a lot of times people don't think about, okay, some people are doing unhealthy things, right? And they don't realize that, and they say, well, it's my life, I'm going to do whatever I want. They don't realize that when they're ill, it not only affects them, it affects their family members as well, and their friends and their community. So when we're healthier, when we're deliberate about our health, and we're doing the things that's necessary for us to be healthy, it actually also transcends into our community, as you said.
Exactly, because when you're sick, that income is not coming in unless you're getting some kind of a passive residual income. But if you're not getting that, if you're working 9 to 5 and somebody has to take care of you because you are recklessly living or living a reckless life, then it affects other people. So if you can pay attention to what you eat and pay attention to a way of taking care of your body, that would be great. And so this next weekend provides great knowledge and great information for you to come on out and learn things about taking care, additional to taking care of your body.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And your community.
And you, absolutely, absolutely.
Okay, yes, so true. And you know something, we need to focus more on self-care. You need, we are so busy looking after others, especially women. Self-care, what they said, put on your mask first before you can help the other person. Right. And this is what we're going to be trying to show you, things to add to your toolbox for your family. And remember, there are different stages of life. You have the young ones, then you're going to be in the teens, they're going to be more active than the older ones. It's menopause, premenopause, so this is something you have
we're losing you for a second. Okay. We're losing you a little bit. We're not hearing you very well.
Okay, is that any better?
We're not hearing you very well, Marilyn.
Okay.
So go ahead, babe.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I urge, come on out to our health and wellness conference at the Wyndham Hotel in Virginia Beach between the 25th and the 27th of October. It's going to be a weekend of
The recording has stopped.
Deal with the body.
This meeting is being recorded.
It's going to be a fun weekend. So we urge you to come on out, get your tickets and sponsor somebody, invite somebody, come on out.
Yes, get your tickets. And I love when you said that, invite someone. If you can't come, sponsor someone. Sponsor someone. It could be a family member, it could be a friend, it could be a coworker. Sponsor someone to come, because knowledge is power, and applied knowledge is even more powerful. Absolutely. We are on a journey together to be in a space of good health, right? Good health.
Marilyn?
Yes. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So I was just saying that we need to focus on self-care, and here at the conference, we're gonna be really giving you tools and paying attention to how to best read the labels, know what your all those, look for the fine print. Don't be, there's a lot of misleading information and pretty packages. Everything says natural. And then when you look at the back of the box or whatever, you see some strange things you don't know how to pronounce. So, this is an opportunity to learn ways to help you and your family.
Yes. And how can people get in touch with you, Marilyn? How can folks get in touch?
I am part of the Healthy Choices team, and with Center of Joy,
so
2010 gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Center of Joy,
yes.
2010 gmail.com. That's how you can get in touch with Miss Marilyn King-George. We have so much enjoyed this conversation. We're so grateful that you took the time to be with us today. I believe that those that are watching and listening are also being impacted in a positive way from this conversation as well. Again, guys, we want to encourage you to come on out to the Health and Wellness Conference And we're on this journey together. And the Empowered Lifestyle Network was really created with the vision of making sure that we have content on there that inspires, encourages, educates, and empowers our community. And we're doing it one person at a time. And of course, it starts with us, because if we're not empowered, we can't do that.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Okay, very good.
Well, thank you so much again. Be blessed.
Thank you.
Awesome day. Go on to empoweredlifestyle.tv or Eventbrite to get your tickets for the Health and Wellness Conference, or just to touch base with us. You can go to empoweredlifestyle.tv. Our contact number is 757-512-8951. Thank you so much, and be blessed.
Thank you.
The recording has stopped.